for the sky. It just needs a little dreaming and doing fantasy. It's everything you want, everything. Welcome home.
Hello and welcome to Bosch DIY Live. I'm Chris.
And I'm Danny.
And I'm Dharma, and welcome to the first ever Bosch DIY and Garden live stream. Remember that this is a live stream. We'd love for you to ask any questions in the chat, so please feel free to do so, and I'll pop them for Chris and Dan to answer.
That's right, as Dharma's pointed out there, it is a live stream, so feel free to ask us any questions. Get this live stream going, ask us any of those difficult questions in regards to any of the tools we're going to be looking at today, or perhaps maybe you'd like to ask about some products that aren't on display today, or maybe you might want to know if there's any particular products maybe coming out in the near future, and if Dan and I can tell you, maybe we will. So Dan, what's today about?
Right, so today's live stream is all about the Bosch DIY range with a strong focus on our 18-volt battery platform.
That's right. So we're going to start off the live stream looking at a quick intro into the 18-volt battery platform and the technology behind it.
We're going to look into some of our drill drivers and combi drills, so drills with an impact mechanism.
Yeah, we're going to look at some of our smaller 18-volt DIY lawn and garden products.
Some of our 18-volt DIY power tools that don't necessarily fall into the drill category, so some of our system tools.
Yeah, we'll take the opportunity to have a look at some of our bigger 18-volt lawn and garden products, such as our lawn mowers.
And we'll end up some of our novelty products, some that don't necessarily fit into any of the categories we've spoken about before. Plus the fact we're going to mention about repair and warranty.
Of course, very important.
Yes.
So, I mean, let's start off with a little bit of a history lesson, because it's always very important to point out that actually Bosch, not only the professional brand, but the DIY brand as well, have been very involved in the cordless power tool market. We can go back as far as 1969, in fact, when we produced a number of cordless tools, both in the power tool and in the lawn and garden range.
That's it. Back then, however, although they were cordless, it was the equivalent of carrying around pretty much a car battery with you. It was a lead acid battery, almost in a satchel that you wore over your shoulder. So things have come along since then. We're obviously running a lot smaller with a lot larger power.
That's right, yeah. So 12 volt back then was a substantial amount of weight, different technology. When we came out with lithium ion technology, however, we were essentially one of the first, or if not the first, to the market for the first lithium ion power tool. Here I've got a Generation 1 IXO. Okay, this was the 3.6 volt electric screwdriver. And because it was running on that lithium ion battery technology, it meant it had so many advantages compared to the previous technology. One of them being, look at the size of it.
Yes, there's a large voltage in a small package, really, if you think about what came previous to it.
Yeah, my understanding is there's probably about, we've sold at least over 20 million of these worldwide now, haven't we? So an absolute huge number.
Incredibly popular product.
Yeah, we're up to our Generation 7, and that will be one of the products we might have a quick look at.
Yes.
Even though, yes, we are looking at predominantly the 18 volt products, you know, it's worth mentioning that this is where we came from originally when it came to lithium ion, and that was back in 2003, if we haven't mentioned it already. So, Dan, what's essentially going to be the most important thing when we're talking about a cordless power tool?
Right, there's two things to take into account. So you're looking at the voltage. In this case, we're going to talk about 18 volt, so 18 volt battery platform. And the second number that you'll find on a battery is the amp hours. Now, not wishing to go too technical, this is the fuel in the tank. This is how far you can use the power tool, or how long you can use the power tool before you have to recharge it again. So the higher the number, the more runtime you're going to get out of the battery.
That's right. So the most important element when it comes to a cordless power tool, surprise, surprise, is going to be the battery.
Exactly.
Now, Dan's got an example of one of our DIY lithium-ion 18-volt batteries.
There you go. So I have there a 2 amp hour, 18-volt battery. One of the new ones, in fact. Inside this battery, I think Chris has got one here that is stripped down. You can see we have some cells. So just here. This is an 18650 cell. Now, I'm not going to go down into the numbers too much on this, but it refers to the size, the dimensions of it. Now, this is a 3.6 volt cell, so one of these sat in the original IXO. In the other batteries we have here, that Chris has got, you can see there's 5 of those. So 3.6 volts for each of these. 5 in series gives you 18 volts. So that's your 18 volt battery.
That's right.
2 amp hours on this means 2 amp hour battery. So again, quite easy to work out.
Exactly. Now, we're not here to go into all the technical stuff. This is probably about as technical as it's going to get, because we really want to show you how these batteries are designed. But you don't really need to know that much, really. All you need to know is, have you got the correct voltage, and what kind of product are you, what kind of application you're looking to use your power tool for. There's lots of different power tools out there, and we'll show you a great number of them. But typically, that's going to govern what we would recommend you run in regards to batteries. So if I get a few examples on the desk here, so we've got a 2 amp there. So let me grab a 1, and I've got a 1 amp. Here we go. Okay, we'll put the 2 here. Here I've got a 2.5 amp hour.
Yep.
Okay.
I have the 4 amp here. You'll notice that this one is double the layer of battery, so there's 10 cells in here instead of 5, but this is equivalent of 2 of those all wrapped up in one package. So that gives you the 4 amp hour. And also I have here the 6 amp hour one.
You can see the 6 and the 4.
They're the same size.
Same
size package, yeah.
Now, it's important to note that there are different kinds of products that you may want to choose different types of batteries for. You'll see that when we do the presentation, we'll be talking about a lot of tools that are going to be running on the smaller, this compact or this single layer battery. This gives you more than enough performance and more than enough power to run most of your typical applications when you're running drills, sanders, all those kinds of normal handheld 18-volt power tools. When we move up to some larger machines, maybe, for example, if we're looking maybe at angle grinders or lawnmowers, then that's when you'll be wanting to run one of these double layer batteries, because it gives you that extra runtime, especially in those what we would call heavy duty or more performance applications. There is a novel battery, or I should say a battery that kind of sits in between. We've got this, for example, here. Now, we will spend too much time talking about the Power Plus battery, but this kind of sits sits in between our normal compact and that double air performance. This is giving you almost, or essentially, the same kind of power and performance as this type of battery, but in a much smaller compact size.
Again, you've got to take into account when you're using various tools the weight as well that you're going to get from the battery. So you don't want a nice lightweight tool running a heavy battery. So there's plenty of different decisions that need to be made when it comes to the battery that you want for your particular tool. But bear that in mind, all of the batteries fit all of the tools.
That's
so
right.
The choice is yours.
And that, probably we skipped over it very quickly, but that probably is the most important thing. And one of the most important things we want to show you in this live stream is the forwards and backwards compatibility across our power tools and our DIY lawn and garden range of products as well. We can show you great examples from the smallest drill driver all the way up to one of our largest, maybe 2 times 18 volt lawnmowers.
Exactly, yeah.
So you'll see that when you start into the Bosch DIY range, obviously you're buying your batteries and chargers, that opens you up to a wide range of different products without having to worry about having to have different kinds of batteries. Now, there are a few other things we might reference in this live stream. We might make reference to the Cinion technology. Okay, essentially that is some very smart Bosch electronics that make sure that the tool is running well, especially if you're doing some heavy applications. Maybe if you're doing some, I don't know, running some circular saws maybe, or maybe actually if you're running things like lawnmowers, okay, very high draw, very powerful machines, and that helps protect the tool and protect the battery itself.
Exactly. So it's designed there to protect your investment. So obviously, spend some money on these actual the batteries themselves. We want them to run as long as possible. So it takes out a little bit of the gamble when it comes to battery power tools.
That's right. So some of the tools we might reference have Cinion, but then maybe there's some products out there, out in the market that you've got your eye on and you're wondering, oh, what does that mean? And again, this is why we want to do the live stream. If you've got some questions about, oh, why do you call this? What does this mean on the power tool? What is the benefit of this function? Maybe something like pendulum function, then maybe we can talk about that as well. So again, the day is almost, I say we've obviously got some products that we want to talk through, but if there are some specific questions, feel free, drop us a question. Dharma will throw it over to us, and as long as we know the answer, we'll have a good effort at trying to answer it. Okay, so remember, get your questions in there. Okay, so we've talked about the battery platform. We've talked about the fact that this is compatible, and we'll show some examples with our power tools on our DIY range and our lawn and garden products.
Exactly.
However, there's also something else, and if we cut in close, you'll see on the side of the battery here, we've got this reference here, which is our Power for All 18 volt Alliance. Now, so maybe you might have seen this out on the street, in the shops, maybe in some of our marketing material out there on the interwebs, or maybe in print. We still do the internet and print. You might have seen this. What does this mean, Dan?
Well, this means there are some other, sometimes in some cases, competitors out there using our battery platform alongside us, which gives you far more choice when it comes to power tools. Obviously, if there's something that we don't do, and I think you'd be hard pressed to actually find something that we don't in the DIY or lawn and garden range, this gives you the ability to use the batteries you already have for the Bosch system onto the other systems out there.
That's right. So Dan points out some of them are direct competitors, but you'll see that many of these partners are in the same kind of field as we are.
Of course, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So one of the really important things here is, we've manufactured and sold in the DIY batteries probably over 20 million batteries, well over 20 million batteries worldwide. And obviously, we believe that as a technology company, we are cutting edge and we produce really high quality batteries. And that's one of the reasons why when we went out and approached some of these other manufacturers of power tools, DIY and such, we've obviously pitched the fact saying, look, we think we make a really good battery, and obviously they believe us as well. They're willing to stake the reputation of their brands on the quality of our batteries, and I think that's obviously a good go.
Yeah, it's proof enough as it is.
Exactly right. Okay, so if you want to find out any more information about this, feel free to just search on the internet in regards to the Power for All 18 volt Alliance. I'm sure in the low bar we're going to have some links as well in regards to how you can find more information about some of these Power for All 18 volt Alliance partners, and you can have a browse of which products are currently compatible. And obviously it does depend on which country you're in, because we are aware, look, we're in the UK of course, but we know we're going to have quite a few international viewers, I'm sure. So feel free to have a look on the website, and then you'll see a really good matrix and list of all the people that are compatible and running the Bosch DIY battery.
I think you'd be quite surprised actually, there's quite a number of them.
In fact, yes, it's not just competitors. In fact, there are other products within the Bosch group that we should quickly mention. We don't want to spend too much time on it, of course, but I think you've got a great example of our white goods. So obviously, Bosch make power tools, yes.
Yep. They
But
also
they make microwaves, fridges, other white goods, don't they?
Exactly. So this is the Unlimited 7 Aqua. This comes from our home appliances division.
Squeeze it onto stream there.
Yep,
You go.
trying to squeeze it on there because it's quite a large machine. Yeah, your domestic vacuum cleaner. But you can see on the back here, if I pop that off, it's running on the same 18-volt battery platform that we have for our power tools.
That's right, yes. So obviously, if you are in the market for some domestic appliances, okay, you have a quick look over at our Bosch, our other Bosch websites. I don't know whether or not we're going to have that in the low bar, but I'm sure we will at some point. You can browse some of the Bosch home appliances that run on the same battery. So now you've got a battery that can run your lawnmower, maybe some DIY power tools when you want to do a bit of DIY at home. And then once you've made a mess, then you can probably clean it up again using your little, well, I was going to say dust extractor because I'm so professional, your 18-volt home appliance vacuum. Okay, so a really great example.
Yeah, I mean, this is not just this one. They do a couple of others in the range, but they work with the 18-volt battery. So
pop it on, press the trigger, make sure everyone believes us, because I'm sure someone in the chat is going, don't believe you. Yeah, wow. We always get, we've got
battery on. There you go.
Now, again, a vacuum cleaner is a great example of a power tool that really benefits from that higher amp hour. So yes, you've got these 1.5, 2s, 2.5, etc. Really great. But you've got extra options in the range if you want to have a bit more runtime. So Dan says that comes with a 3 amp hour battery. I think it's part of the scope of delivery. Hey, it'd really benefit from using a bigger battery. Maybe you've got it on your lawnmowers, 4 amp hour, a little bit extra runtime for your dust extractor or your vacuum.
6 amp hour, obviously if you've got a really big house.
Right. Okay. Now let's get into the meat and bones of it, shall we?
Yes.
So what's an important thing to talk about? Right. Well, with many of our products in the DIY range, both the power tools and the lawn and garden range, we currently have I think, a very straightforward and simple naming structure.
Yeah. Think of it as good, better, best. It's quite straightforward.
Now, we could spend a long time going through lots and lots of different products, but we don't want to do that. We want to get right into it and show you some examples of some products. So what we thought we would start off with is having a look at some of our drill drivers, or actually, we're really being specific here. We're looking at our impact drills, or as we call it in the UK, our combis.
Yes.
Okay, so first things first, let's have a quick look at well, before I start, actually, I should do an honourable mention. We've kind of already hinted at it. All right, let's cut over to the overhead camera because let's start off with something like this. Right, there we go. Put it in screen. There we go. Right, okay. When it comes to drill drivers, I'm sure many people might have already heard of and seen a Bosch IXO. We showed you that Generation 1 a minute ago. Now, this is probably one of our best-selling machines out in the market. I'm pretty sure I made the comment of over 20 million units, probably even more. I don't want to quote, I don't want to guess, okay? Maybe someone in the chat can tell me exactly how many of these we've sold worldwide, but we're up to our Generation 7, and this is our Gen 7 IXO. It is a 3.6 volt screwdriver, okay? A little one cell sits in here, charges via your USB cables, okay? It's a micro USB, okay? And this allows you to do many things. This is going to be your typical tool for doing some light fixing works, but many people use this for assembling flat pack.
Exactly, yeah.
It's a very competent little machine. In fact, we've got lots of little accessories that go with it. It's a really straightforward tool. You've got your forward and reverse, a little battery indicator, and a very nice, comfortable grip when using it. It's very nice. Doesn't matter if you've got large or small hands. This is a really comfortable tool to use. And because it's quite a short tool, it's really nice to get into those difficult places, especially when you're doing some of that assembly work.
Exactly, yeah. For flat pack furniture, this doddle.
Yes, but why am I talking about a 3.6 volt product? This is an 18 volt live stream. Well, I wanted to frame it because this is a product that many people have already, okay? Because it is really, I mean, it's not a multi-tool, but it does a lot of work for you.
Yeah, considering the amount of attachments you get with it, from the tightness limiting heads to offset heads. Actually, we've even got a barbecue blower and a bottle opener along with a pepper mill.
That's right, yeah.
So
and it's
you name it, we've got one.
Yeah, and it's very capable. It's only 3.6 volt, as I talked about earlier, but it's got a 2 amp hour cell in there, and that can give you up to 190 screws. So you've got a really, really efficient compact machine. But why have I brought this up? Well, reason is it's a good tool, but sometimes you need a little bit more power, okay? And when we make the comment about power, then Danny's already pointed out, well, if you want more power, the first thing you probably look at is you go for higher voltages, right?
Exactly. You're going to go from, well, that's a 3.6 volt there. We do 12 volt machines as well, but if we step things up a little bit further for some more demanding tasks, you're looking at 18 volt.
Okay, let's bring out a couple of these combis to give you a good understanding on how we split up the range, and then maybe we can talk about some products, maybe give some recommendations of what some of these products might be used for. Okay, we'll start off at our, let's call it entry level. Okay, we've got an example here. This is going to be your PSB 1800 Li2.
Yes.
Okay, now this is a great entry level product if you just want to get into the system.
That's it, yeah.
Now, a lot of people sometimes, you know, they want to, there's a bit of investment because obviously you want to buy into a battery platform and you need the batteries and chargers. Okay, these kinds of products, this is being an entry level product, is a really good start to get you in, because once you're on the battery platform, it opens you up to a wide range of system tools that we'll be showing you today. Okay, not just power tools, but remember, it also includes lawn and garden products, and as you saw from that BSH, home appliances as well.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so Danny, what kind of product, you know, why would you use this? What kind of applications do you think?
Well, this is for sort of everything, I would say, pretty much entry level. So for putting up shelves, putting up hanging baskets, which I might do something about that a little bit later. Anything around the house, really. If you need a hole in it, up to 10mm maximum drilling diameter, then away you go. Anything with raw plugs, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Okay, right. The next machine we can bring along is going to be one of the named products. Okay, so we would call this a easy product. So you see here we've got an easy impact 18V-40. So I'll just pop that there. You go.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not going to get into the weeds about the naming structure, but you'll see that it's got a couple of numbers in it, 18 volt, and then you've got this value 40. Okay, that represents the amount of turning force. But we're not going to get into that too much detail. Instead, we're going to say, as you see, this is a 40, and the name's going to become from easy to a different name, and the number's going to go up.
Exactly. Just think of it as the bigger the number, the more turning force it's got. That's
exactly.
literally all you need to think.
So I would say that these two machines are like for your light duty. So you do a little bit of DIY, you do a little bit of, maybe you're doing some craft work, but you're not necessarily needing a lot of performance, and maybe you're not using it that often, for example. You're just doing it for the odd job, okay? Obviously on the website, all these products have a spec sheet if you really want to get into the technical specifications and make sure that it has enough power for whatever application you're looking for. If we bring in the next machine, you'll see the names change slightly. So we've moved from the easy, and we're going to be looking at a universal impact.
Yes, so the universal impact 18V60.
That's correct, Danny. Yep. So the names obviously get a little bit more, well, might seem more complicated, but don't worry, the name is just numbers just going up.
Yep.
So this is now a more powerful tool. Okay. Well, for those who are really nerdy out there in the chat, so we're now looking up to about, more torque.
Yes.
Okay, when we talk about torque, we're talking about turning force. So this can make bigger holes in wood, or it can drive bigger screws, for example. Now, this is now what we say like a mid-range product. So this is if you're a bit more enthusiastic, you've got some more ambitious projects maybe, or maybe you're working in some harder wood, for example. So you're moving from your soft wood to your construction timber. Maybe you're starting to dabble in more and more hardwoods, for example.
Exactly. You can see there's a step up in chuck size on this as well as the material the chuck's made from. So instead of having an external plastic chuck here, which is great for lightweight and really good gripping surface for tightening the drill bits down. However, we've gone for a metal one on this as well, because obviously the tougher the material, the more long lasting it's going to be.
That's right, good. I mean, that's a good point to say. Yeah, you're looking at everything else being a bit upgraded. And when we show you some of the controls, you'll see there's been some slight changes. Okay, so the last machine, well, there's a couple other machines we'll bring out. You'll bring out, let's bring out that one, Yep,
so here we have the Advanced Impact
18. Okay, so it's a slightly different looking model.
This one's been around a little bit longer than the others.
That's right, yeah.
But this does have a little bit of a party piece with it as well. On these particular models, you can actually take the chuck off. You can put on 1/4 inch drill heads.
Here's an example.
You've got one there from the other machine, but that will fit. So you've got a right angle there. You can also clip the chuck on there as well. So that gives you, well, I'm not sure why you're going to want to drill round corners like that.
I'm sure someone will have a reason.
Someone will have a reason to do that. There's also an offset head as well, which we'll show you later when we come to a little bit of a job we got there. So there you go. So you've got an offset head there, so you can get real up close to surfaces that you want to use, either a drill bit with a 1/4 inch hex on it, or with a chuck. Yeah, so with a standard screwdriver bit. So yeah.
Yeah, perfect, exactly. Okay, and then the last machine we want to show, just to fill out the range, because what we wanted to do here is we want to show you that when you get into the Bosch system, you are spoilt for choice. There's a product specific for you and your level of competence or whatever project you're looking at. So if you're looking for really more heavy duty applications, or you're looking at trying to get the most you can out of the Bosch DIY range, then we're looking at the advanced series machines. And here we've got an example with the Advanced Impact 18V-80.
There you go. So dead easy to clip you got all of the same fitments that you have on the Advanced 18. However, with this, a little bit more power. We're talking, whereas that was, I think that was 60. We're going up to 80 on this as well. So a little bit more turning force in there as well.
Yes, I think we've gone from actually 39 on this particular one, gone all the way up to like into the 80s. So a lot of power. So as I said, this is really for like if you're really passionate about your woodworking, you're working in some large diameters. Maybe you're doing some very enthusiastic renovation work. Okay, and you're working in some tough materials, drilling some big holes, for example. This is a great machine for you. So let me line it up really quickly. Okay, so let's put this one in as well, even though it's one of the older machines. So you can see here in the range, we've got plenty of excellent machines when it comes to combis. Okay, so what's a combi, Dan? Okay, we've skipped that a little bit already. We've decided to go with this range because I reckon 99% of people out there, regardless if you're a professional or a DIYer or you're just a hobbyist, you probably want to have a combi.
A combi is going to be the first drill you buy. Usually over in Europe, they tend to go for a drill driver. This is the main difference between a universal drill and a universal impact, because they actually have a different mechanism in the gearbox, which allows you, which is quite commonly known as a hammer drill. So a combi, you're going to be using over here on soft bricks, not necessarily concrete, although given the drill bit choices there are out there now, you can do it. But largely,
yeah, I mean,
sorry, I completely forgot.
I was going to say, look, if you're drilling into wood, both softwood and hardwood, if you're working in plastics, if you're working in metal, if you're drilling into drywall, if you're drilling into masonry, soft masonry, red brick, anything other than hard concrete, a combi is probably the tool that you could use. Obviously, as the material gets harder, you might want to look at some other tools like our rotary hammers. We're not going to spend too much time on that today, but a combi, that will be your starting place. And as I said, something like the PSB 1800 Li-2, being a nice budget product, you can get into the system really quickly. But if you know what you want and you want a bit more power, you can see, you pick any one of these tools and you can buy it as a kit, or you can buy it as a bare machine without a battery and charger. But as I said, getting into it, you probably want to buy at least one machine that's the full kit.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
There we go. Okay. Right. We've got some questions already from Dharma, but before we cut to Dharma, I want to do a quick introduction on how these machines work, and very quickly, because again, we want to get through a number of other tools. And we know, look, Danny and I, we're trainers here at Bosch, and we like to talk at length, at nauseum about some things. But we know that many people out there might not be that competent, or they might not be that familiar with using certain tools. They might be, as you say, hobbyists, and and even to a degree, I must admit, some professionals also just leave it on max setting and off they go.
Oh yeah, if it's on speed 2 maximum torque when they get it out of the box, it stays there.
Exactly. But here, so with the DIY tool, remember with Bosch, most of the time, 99% of the time, if it's red, it does something. So let's have a look here. On the back of the battery here, we've got a nice big red button. What does that do? Well, simply if you press it and slide the battery backwards, that releases the battery, and that slides back on just like that. Very positive, solid fit. Okay, if I swing it around to the front, you'll see we've got a little LED at the front. It's hard to see on the live stream, but trust me, when you're in dim locations in a dark space, that would help light up where you're drilling. It's got a nice little, well, I couldn't call it a lens, but a little plastic cover over there that helps project the light up here where you're working. See here, we've got a nice little battery gauge as well. It gives you 3 little LEDs that tells you the charge status on the battery. On the machine up here, you'll see, well, first off, we've got a really nice, comfortable, soft grip. So that's makes it nice, so you're not going to slip around. It's got a really nice, grippy rubber. Also, it's nice and slim and very comfortable to use. You've got a variable speed trigger here. I'll just indicate that very quickly. So maybe hopefully you heard that if the mics haven't muted that. So you've got a variable speed trigger, so you've got a little extra control when you're drilling. So you don't have to be full speed, you can go nicely and slow. On the top here, you've got your forward and reverse indicator. So you pop that into forward, reverse, and if you put it in the middle here, it acts as a nice little trigger safety too.
So if you're storing the machine with the battery on it, It can't, if it falls on something, it's not going to activate the trigger and completely flatten your battery.
That's right. Moving up, we can go up to the machine itself. I mean, this particular one, you can see here, if you zoom in closely, this actually says it's a brushless machine. We're not going to go into too much detail, but brushless is a really great benefit for runtime and efficiency.
Exactly.
Much smaller, more powerful machines. On the top, we've got our gear selector, so speed 1, which is your low speed, low RPM, so turning speed, but it gives you all the power. And then we've got high speed, just like your car, that's higher RPM, but you've got less turning force.
Yeah.
So this is going to be used for drilling into things like wood, and also if you're doing some screw driving application where you need turning force. And then in this one, speed 2, this is where you're going to be drilling into things like brick. You want the high speed, don't you?
Like we said before, most people will leave it in speed 2. In reality, if you leave it in speed 2 and the machine slows down, you switch it to speed 1 and it gives you the extra turning force to drive the screw home. Obviously it's going to take a bit longer because it's turning slower, but it has more turning force to actually get the job done.
Right, okay, so must keep going because we're going to run out of time, I'm sure. We want to get going. But you see on the top here, we've got, on this particular, because it's a Combi, it has 3 modes. You've got your screw driving, you've got your drilling, and then you've got this nice little image here that shows a hammer. It's not technically a hammer, we're not going to bore you with it, but you've got a percussion action. That means that the machine will, the tool holder here will basically move backwards and forwards under pressure, and that's what you use to break through into your bricks and stuff like that.
It's basically just chiseling away at the surface.
Okay, you've got your clutch, or your, what do you want to call it, a torque limiter?
Yeah, I'd say clutch, probably the easiest way.
Okay, well, I'll show you a quick example of this, and then you see here on this particular model, we've got our nice metal chuck, and it's a 3-jaw auto lock chuck. So you can see it's very quick and tool free, so you don't need a tool to make to tighten that onto your drill bits, for example. So all in all, that's our little, what we call our little walk around the tool. You can see that even this product being a mid-range product, it's got really great features in it. And this is something that we translate into a lot of our other tools as well. So it's not just for the mid-range and the expensive ones. You'll see that we translate a lot of these features into some of the other ones, even all the way down to the PSB 1800.
Exactly. So if you're starting off with an entry-level machine like the PSB 1800, you can always step up and you'll be familiar instantly with the new machine.
Okay, right. Very quickly, I'll put in a little screwdriver bit. You'll see here I'm using the tool-free auto lock chuck. Okay, I'm going to put my little screwdriver bit in, tighten it down. Okay, I'm going to put this into the screwdriver mode and pop the battery back on. With my little bit of wood, here it is. Okay, I'm just going to show very quickly, because again, we want to obviously talk about tools, but we want to show all the features, and some of the features that people neglect is things like, what does this little mode wheel do? The screw set for the little screw here, and I've set this on the minimum setting, for example. So I'm driving into some wood. Oh, you never know. What could terribly happen? I'll put my glasses on here.
I'll take a step back.
Oh, it could go terribly wrong right then. Yep. Okay, I'm going to drive this screw in, but I put the clutch on the lowest setting. Okay, it's not bad. It's in there, but it's a little bit proud.
It's a little proud, yeah.
Okay, let's try another screw. Let's put the setting incorrectly on this one. So I'll put it in the too much power technically this time. Okay. Oh no. I might have had a bit of an accident there.
Yeah, you're not getting that one back out very quickly.
Yep, okay, so I'm going to try and set this now to what I think is the correct torque setting. I've set it for 5. Okay. And again, maybe there's plenty of people out there that know all of this, of course, but, it's always good to tell people or show people what all the little things do. Okay. Hopefully you can see that on the camera. That is perfectly flush. And now I know that if I want to repeat this process, I can leave it in this setting 5, go across multiple applications, and you're going to get a nice flush screw head.
Yep.
Okay.
Consistency.
Consistency, that's what it's all about, and that's why you're buying into Bosch. You're buying for performance, quality, long life, but consistency is one of the important things. So Dan, before we move on too far, I mean, maybe what we could do is we could have a little application that might make sense to some people out there.
Exactly. So I've got a little rig here. If I pop this up onto the desk, it's not too amazing, but however, this is a facsimile, as you'd find on maybe a porch or somewhere out there where there's an overhanging roof and a bracket holding that particular roof up. You may want to hang a hanging basket, for instance. So got this piece of timber here. If I grab a clamp to clamp this to the table, bear in mind I'm going to have to do this from kind of inside the house.
Hey,
It's not the easiest.
if you've watched any of our other videos, maybe you've noticed that sometimes when we're trying to do a demonstration in the studio, it's not the normal way of doing it. You're on the wrong side of the application.
Upside down, back to front, usually,
right, yeah.
yes. I've already marked out the position of the screw holes on the bracket I have just here. So I've already marked them out on the piece of timber here. And I'm going to pop in a couple of pilot drill holes using a advanced impact 80, one of the top of the range ones that we do. Actually, I'm going to put that on the drill function because I don't need any torque settings for a drill bit. And I'm just going to pop a pilot hole right there. And another one just at the top. There you go. Right. So to show off the difference in head for the actual the drill here, I'm going to pop on the offset one. So there you go. You can hold up the bracket for me. I shall put in the lower screw. Now I'm going to set this to around about 5, as you did before, Chris, because you've quite kindly found out the proper torque setting for it.
Always start a little on the lower side, and then you can work up.
Yeah, there you go.
Again, it's hard for me to see, but that looks about, it's about right.
So hang on, I'll feed that into the upper bit. There you go. This is all where it gets a bit confusing. There you go. Oh, left me. Screwdriver bit there.
Now,
Usually you do the top one first because it's a lot easier, but
yes.
I'm a little on the short side, so not in this particular case. So there you go. There you go.
You see, the offset head makes that very easy because, again, it's in a very awkward position, being very close to the bottom of that bracket.
I can get right down close to the actual bracket without having the screwdriver bit offset slightly, potentially damaging the screw. Yeah, and running up this side of the machine up against the bracket here and damaging the chuck. So you'll have to grab the
hanging basket.
again. There's never an advantage to being short,
There you go.
but I can get Chris to do things like that. And there you go.
Wow. Easier said than done. This is the hardest bit of the day. There we go.
And there you go.
Right.
One hanging basket fitted.
Right, we could charge someone $9.99 for that job.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yep.
So look, as you can see, combination. Imagine if this was brick, for example, you do the same thing again. You can do your pilot drill, put your raw plug in, and then you can put your screw in. This is being timber, it's less necessary. Okay, so perfect. Let's reset. Let's have a look. Actually, no, Dharma, we've had some questions. I don't know if someone's been waiting very patiently to ask us some questions.
Yeah. Firstly, someone mentioned the green Bosch shirts as potential new workwear.
Oh, we got some workwear.
Oh,
maybe, perhaps, if you have seen our professional live streams, you might understand the in-joke there. So, hey, maybe. Hey, have a chat with some of our marketing team, see whether or not we can get some DIY. We've got some gloves. We have got some workwear, but no polo shirts, I'm afraid.
No, unfortunately not.
Okay, any power tool related questions yet?
On to the power tool question. So we had a question saying, can you please explain what torque represents each of the torque settings? Is it something standard or we need to find the torque approximately each time?
Yeah, it depends entirely on the material that you're using. There's no set value to each of those torque values on there, or the numerical settings.
Obviously, the higher the number, the higher the torque is.
Yeah.
But we call it find out in play. Or what you do is you would do a quick check like I did with that little demonstration. And I would start on the lower side first and work your way up until you're getting the performance or the seating that you would like. So work your way up. But obviously the lower numbers are going to be on the low scale and then the max is going to be whatever this tool is specified for. So for example, this one at 60, you'll be looking at that 60 Newton meters of torque or turning power.
Exactly. But no values to the units. They are linear units. Start off low, work yourself up, and then you'll have the perfect setting for the material and the screw you're using.
Okay, right. So what always happens with live streams, we always run a little bit late. So what we're going to do is we're going to speed up a little bit. But as you can see, a really great range of 18-volt DIY combis or combination drill drivers, however you want to call it. I'm sure that if you are in the market for an 18-volt combi in the DIY range, we got a great we've got a great range to choose from. So got whatever you need based on your application, what kind of hobbies or what kind of renovation work you're looking at, and also your price point. That's very important as well, that we'll have the right product for you. But as you can see, every single one of these drills are all running on the same type of battery, all running on an 18-volt DIY lithium-ion battery. Okay, so let's move on to some of our smaller lawn and garden products, because we have made the comment already saying, okay, DIY power tools, yeah, 18-volt compatibility, yeah, sure, no problems. What about some of our lawn and garden products? So the first one we're going to have a look at is going to be the Advanced Prune 1845. You grab it for me, Dan?
You were saying smaller tools. This one gets a lot larger. So here we have the Advanced Prune 18V-45. Now the 45 on this particular machine refers to the largest diameter of branch that you can cut. So this is kind of your loppers, your tree pruning equipment. You can see at the bottom here we have an extension pole. Now this slides onto the bottom of the machine here, but can be taken off and fitted in between the head and the body, obviously to give this its maximum length, which I think is around about 2.5 meters, is it?
On the short, it's 1.2 meters, and then the total extension 2. Do you know what? We'll come to that in a second.
Yes. Yeah. So really innovative trigger mechanism on this particular machine as well. If you grab a battery from over there. I'll grab a battery.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was thinking about the maximum length. It's 1.8 meters in total.
1.8. That's a little bit shorter than 2.
Yeah.
Right. So on this particular machine here, we don't have a regular trigger mechanism, do we? It's you twist the handle, so you can do this from any angle, whether you're holding it upside down, over your head, from I don't know, wherever you want to.
Well, it's a lopper, so you'll be using that primarily at height.
So you can use this any direction around that you want. You simply twist it and pull it. And it completes the cycle. We release, and there you go.
Yeah, up to that maximum that Danny points out, 45 millimeters, which is huge for this type of tool.
Yeah, this is absolutely effortless when it comes to going through branches.
Well, look at this example, right? Here's the example of the 3.6 variant. We've got ourselves the Easy Prune. Okay, same kind of technology, still a prune, but obviously this is working in much smaller diameters. So if you've got one of these and you want to upgrade, you want to work at height, then the Advanced Prune 18V-45 is a really good upgrade. And again, as Danny pointed out, look, the battery's fully compatible, so no worries.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. So, what else can we say?
This is probably a machine that you may want to go for a lower capacity battery to keep the weight down. Obviously, because the longer the machine we have here and the weight at the other end, the lighter the battery at this end, the more control you're going to have over it.
That's right. I mean, and very quickly, if you drop that battery off for me, Dan, we'll show you just how quickly it is to extend the machine from that 1.2 meters up to that maximum 1.8 that I. Okay. There you go. Essentially, that will just slide in there.
Either way up, I think.
Yeah, let's do it that way.
There you go.
And the reason we had it in its shortest configuration is because it can get quite long, and it's a bit hard to fit in the studio with all our equipment and stuff behind us. And there you go. So that's it in its longest orientation.
Yes. So as you can see, well, if you're taller, the taller you can get.
So I'm sorted. Danny, it's good product for Danny then, no doubt.
No doubt at all. Do you want to have you got a branch around here?
I would like something a bit larger. Have you got it on your side there?
I've got it just here.
All right, I'll put some gloves on because I don't trust you sometimes.
Oh, we're going to be a long way away from it when we activate it. So.
Well, I'm going to hold it, so don't worry.
Yes, fair enough.
Oh, but
there, you know, it's just off. You're going to give the camera operator a little bit of a trouble here getting it in focus.
Well, that's too easy, that end. Let's give it the slightly thicker end. This is nowhere near.
I need a battery. You took the battery off at the end.
There you go.
There you go. Look for that one.
Do you know what? Let's bring it up. Let's bring it here. Let's bring it over to this side here.
I've got to stand further away. There you
go. All right. So have we got that?
Yep.
There you go. Go.
Yep. So the shaft hadn't locked together, but as soon as you use it once, it's locked.
It's not a fair test. We're trying to find some bigger material, but as I said, 45 millimeters easy. You see how effortless that was. Yeah. So again, if you're in the market for some form of pruner, you need to work at height. You're running on the 18-volt battery platform, obviously. You've got a great machine here.
Yeah.
Now, moving on to some other handheld lawn and garden products. What garden wouldn't be what garden wouldn't want to have a hedge cutter? So you've got an
Presumably
example there.
one without a hedge. But
You
if
find
do
it
have a
used
hedge,
for it.
we've got you covered.
Now, I don't have a hedge, but I do have bushes, and I often need to cut them down as well.
Yes. So there you go. The Universal Hedge Cut 18V-50.
Okay, let's do top line. What's it all about?
Right, so this is a brushless machine, same as the ones that we've looked at previously, so very efficient on battery power. 18 volt, obviously, as the name suggests. 50 centimetre bar length. So usually it's quite easy to decipher the name of the product based on some of the general specs, the real basic specs that you're going to need to know.
That's right, yeah. It's a brushless machine, so it's very efficient, so you're going to get a lot of cuts per battery charge.
Nice and quiet as well.
Yeah. The blades themselves are exceptionally sharp, okay? So which means that, you know, the actual machine runs very efficiently, doesn't need a lot of battery power to cut. Now, this machine features a Bosch USP.
Yes.
When we say USP, we're talking about a unique selling feature, but something that's unique to Bosch, and we call it our anti-blocking system.
Exactly.
Don't get that confused with the other ABS, which another Bosch invention, I believe. Yes. But no, this is anti-blocking system, which means if you're working up to nearer to the maximum capacity, so you're working up to that 20, well, the tooth spacing is in that 20 millimeter region. If you're working up to nearly that maximum cutting capacity, and for example, the machine might get jammed, for example, especially if it's working in some harder material, the machine won't get stuck. What it will do, it would automatically cycle the blade forward and reverse, essentially chopping.
Yes.
The material and then cutting through. And the important thing here, it's fully automatic. So you don't have to do anything. You don't have to take your finger off the trigger. You don't have to press a button. It will do it all automatically. So, yeah. So the Swiss precision blades typically will cut through anything anyway, as long as we're within capacity. Yeah. If you come across something hard, that ABS system will fix it out.
Or even slightly out of capacity, we have the small area on the end here where you don't have these front guards or front guides, or basically these protect your legs whilst you're using the machine. These don't have it at the end here. That's so you can use those blades to almost saw through the material. So, yeah, there's a
cool.
few interesting points just to note in the blade geometry itself there.
Yeah, and one other thing, I'll just pop a battery on it very quickly. I'll face it away from you, Dan.
Yep. Okay.
Is one of the nice features is the fact that obviously we've got this handle here, which means that you can hold it in lots of different orientations. But the trigger system, because it has to have a safety two-stage switch or a safety switch, the switch is nice and light, so I don't have to worry about constantly having to grip the machine to activate this safety trigger here. Under the weight of the machine, it's a very comfortable, so it makes it very low fatigue. Here you go. Okay, very rapid, very quiet actually considering.
Yes.
Very low vibration, so a very comfortable hedge cutter.
Yeah.
So, and obviously we have many other in the range, but this is a great one to showcase what we've got.
Exactly.
Okay, let's keep moving because we've got a lot of tools, even in this small detour into lawn and garden.
Have you got the guard there?
Okay, so if this is the kind of thing you're looking for, but it's a little over the top, you don't need a machine that big to work hedges, for example, maybe you've only got some small bushes that you want to trim, then maybe we could use something like the advanced shear. Let me grab it for you. Okay.
Ah, you've got that over there, haven't you?
Okay, there's two parts that come with this. Okay.
So this is the advanced shear 18. As it suggests, you can use this for jobs such as topiary, come in perfectly useful with topiary or hedge shaping.
That's right, yeah.
Great little machine.
And this orientation, if you obviously you can see there's a couple blades. This is the one you would use as like almost, as we say, like a mini hedge cutter.
This is a mini hedge cutter.
Hedge trimmer. But you could also use it as this little cordless grass shear. Edging, grass cutting, whatever. If you're working and you want to cut some small bits, it's a little bit more control.
Work here.
Yeah, you've got this. It's very straightforward to remove. It's got these two buttons on the side here, and then you can take off this bottom base plate, and then you could put on this one instead. Okay, I'll pop a battery on. Okay, it's got a little safety button on the top here. Just need to depress that for a second. Okay, very nice, controllable RPM or movement of blades. So it's nice and controllable. And that's what you'd use just to make little changes and just sculpt whatever little bushes you've got there. For time, we're not going to demo it too much. I think you understand how it would work. Very nice and very low weight. So really great if you just want to do a little bit of light trimming.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, with these two accessories, it means you've got two machines in one there. And if you really want, if you're up for it, you can do a lot of, well, I wouldn't recommend necessarily doing your lawn with that. got proper products for that. But you can do quite a lot of work on some smaller regions with it.
Yes, perfect.
Okay, so, well, I mean, what would we recommend if you're not going to cut your lawn with it? What would you recommend we use instead?
Well, if you're talking about edging a lawn on a larger scale, something like a grass trimmer. I think you have one over there.
Yeah, I've got both of them actually. I'm gonna hand it to you while I reset the desk. But here's a great example of one.
So there you go. This is the Universal Grass Cut 18V-26, 18-volt machine. May look a little bit unusual when it comes to the normal grass trimmers that you see out there on the market. However, this one is built with ergonomics in mind. A really, really comfortable machine to operate. So if I pop the side handle out there, you hold it literally like that in your hands. And the weight of the machine sits really nicely. Even where the battery sits at the back here, sits just underneath your elbow. So really, really comfortable. Now, when it comes to the length of the product, that can be changed via a simple button press on the top there. So it's a telescopic handle on that. And if you want to switch from shape, basically from grass trimming to edging, there's this simple foot pedal on the back here. So you press the pedal with your foot and spin it round, and it locks back in for edging.
It's a really, really nice feature.
Yeah.
You don't have to stoop. You can do it all while in the stood position.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very nice. And you've got a little wheel.
You've got a little wheel on there to support it as you run down the side of your garden. So, yeah.
Yeah, an excellent product. Now, if
I can't state enough how comfortable this machine is to use, though. It really is.
Now, if you want something a little bit more basic, or you don't need or want any of that ergonomics, then you can get yourself a more straightforward. This is going to be an easy product. Okay, so this is going to be the Easy Grass Cut 18V-26. Okay, and this is great if you just have a small garden and you don't want to have to invest in a more expensive machine. You don't need it because your garden's much smaller, for example. I think both machines, they both have the auto spool, don't they?
Yes,
semi-auto spool.
Both machines are 26 as well, so you'll find that the same cutting diameter of the head and a similar spool on the 2E as well.
That's right, yeah. So, and in addition, you've got a little button here that allows you to rotate the handle, so it has its own way of doing the edging as well. And
Yeah,
this is a nice solution.
This metal part of the base here. It's called the shrub shield, so that keeps your shrubs away from the edge of the lawn when you're going round the outside of the garden.
That's right.
However, when it's in the outermost position, you know, the machine sits quite nicely on that as well.
Yeah.
So it works the same way as the wheel did before. Yeah.
Yeah, so we often say it's horses for courses for us. So if you've got a particular price point or performance class you need, but you don't need to or have to jump up if you don't want to. This machine is an excellent entry level. Okay, easy. I wouldn't say nothing's entry level. It's all really great products, but if you don't need a lot of performance, you just need something for a small garden, like many of us here in the UK don't, especially if you're living in the urban areas, don't necessarily have a big garden like myself, then this is all I'm going to need, and it's got all the functionality I'd need. And again, most importantly, running on the Bosch DIY 18-volt battery. So if I've got a drill, I buy an Easy Grass Cut 18V-26. I've got the battery platform. I'm away to go. Okay, so we are blitzing through it. We've got a few more products and then we're going to get back to some power tools. We've got some other ones that might be useful in the garden running on this 18-volt battery.
Well, it's coming to this time of year, isn't it, where people are going to be thinking about tidying their gardens. So usually I'm not so keen on leaf blowers because it just tends to create a bigger mess than I actually wanted to. But if you use this into a corner, the Universal Leaf Blower 18V-130, then it's a lot easier to clean materials up.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very straightforward machine. Again, a battery sits on the front here, or on the back, sorry, and you've got your two-stage switch. Yeah. So actually, I won't switch it on because it'll make too much noise for the office, but you've got control over it. You've got a nice little nozzle that tapers down and has a little angle here, so you can be working low to the ground, and it's directing the airflow in the right direction. Yeah. The 130 in the name is to do what we call volumetric flow. Yeah. It's the amount of air that the machine's pumping out. The bigger the number, the better. Yep. At 130, it's not the most powerful that we do, but for this weight and performance, it's more than enough for this type of. This is for your if you've got light leaf litter and you only need to tidy up a little bit. Maybe you've got like a gravel car park, for example. You just want to blow the leaves off it.
I've seen this used a couple of times, especially as we're coming up to winter, the potential of snow as well. You can actually trim down the attachments there, and for blowing snow off your car, absolutely perfect. And also after you've washed your car,
Yes,
blow the water off.
absolutely. Yeah.
Less labour when it comes to drying the car.
Yeah, and as Danny pointed out there, it's tool-free, hassle-free
Exactly.
attachment.
Basically a
nozzle there.
bayonet fitting. That's it.
Okay,
That's all it is.
right. Going to keep going. 'Cause we could go in at great detail talking about the fact that it uses a radial fan and all the other specs, but you guys understand what you use a leaf blower for. 130 meters cube per hour.
Cubic meters per hour.
Okay,
Yes.
but as I said, 130. Trust us, this is enough for most normal DIY or home applications.
Yes.
But if you want more power, trust me, we do more powerful machines out there. Okay, now the last one I believe that we're going to look at when it comes to these like lightweight lawn and garden or garden tools. Okay, something I'd love to demo for you, but unfortunately due to the space we can't. But I do love this tool. We're looking at this one here. This is the Easy Chain 18V-15-7. Okay, in the name, 15 is going to be the bar length.
Yep. So it's 15 centimetre bar length.
Okay, there you can see it.
Yep.
You can see that it is a Oregon chain and bar. So if
Yes.
you are a enthusiast, you might already be aware of that name. And obviously Oregon is a very big name in that. So
It's a huge name, yes. Widely considered the best when it comes to chainsaw chains and bars. It makes perfect sense for us to team up with them, to use them. They are the best. If we were to manufacture our own chains, we're going up against them. So again, use the best machine with the best blades
that's
available.
right, yeah, they're specialists and we trust them.
Yes.
Okay, so 15 is going to be the bar length, okay, and then the 7 is roughly the chain speed. I know there are only 2 bits of information that most people want to know when it comes to a chainsaw. How much can they cut, or how long is the bar, and also what's the chain speed.
Yeah,
okay.
so 7 meters.
So this kind of one-handed application, okay, it's got a little safety bit on the top here to help protects you a little bit as a user.
Yep.
Okay, and obviously you would typically use it maybe with your hand up there doing small work. So if you're, it's autumn now, isn't it? You might be doing a bit of logging. Well, logging's a bit of a strong word, but you might be trying to cut down for firewood, for example, or just doing a bit of removal at the end of the season. Little chainsaw here is, or easy chain. It's all you're going to need. You're not going to need to up to one of the large machines again that we have in our range. This little handheld, again, nice, compact, lightweight machine. It's probably all you need, to be honest.
Exactly.
Okay. I think we could spend a lot of time talking about the tensioning system, but again, like many of the Bosch DIY products, they're tool free. So very simple, very easy to maintain, to set up. You don't have to worry about fumbling and looking for tools.
Exactly.
You see, it's got all of it, all the things you need already on the machine, so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything I should else mention? Brushless motor. It's got that Cinion technology, again, helping regulate the amount of power. That in combination with a brushless motor, I mean, you've got really good efficiency. I think we're getting up to about 150 cuts per battery charge on a 2.5 amp hour battery. So one a little bit bigger than this 2 amp hour here. So
same size, but
more capacity. So you get a lot of runtime on a single battery. And again, my recommendation always with certain tools, it's always nice to have 2 batteries. Always nice to buy 2 batteries and a charger, so you can always have one on charge when you're depleting or using that one battery. By the time you've drained a battery, I'm sure with a little tea break in the middle perhaps, you'll have the other battery ready to go before this other one depletes.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've done a little whistle stop tour on some of the more lightweight lawn and garden machines. I'm aware of the time, so we must hurry along a little bit, but we got some time. And I don't know, Dom, have you had many questions yet?
We haven't had that many, but remember, like, we can read out any questions you have, so make sure to comment anything you want to know about, and I'll ask Chris and Dan.
That's fine, no problems. Okay. Well, I'll hope then what's happening is that we are just explaining, maybe giving them too much information. We're explaining all the things that we normally do. So let's go back and have a look at some of our DIY. Hand tools. These aren't really power tools, but these are useful things. Again, think of the season. Okay, the sun's definitely setting. I think the sun is probably already set out there. So it's getting darker in the UK. So what should we look for? What kind of power tools or tool would be useful?
Well, using a tool in the dark is particularly dangerous, so it makes sense to have some lights in the range as well. I think I have the easy one here. So I have the Easy Spotlight 18V-400. So I pop that up there. You're going to quite see that one. I'll pop a battery on it. There you go. Nice little compact light system. folds flat for easy storage. Got a handle on the front here as well. We have a hook on the back, which you can't really see. There you go. There's a hook on the back there. Allows you to hook it up. And we also have a really quite considerably strong magnet on the back here as well.
Magnet, yeah.
So as you can see, well, it's been stuck up on the side of the shelving here for the past hour and a bit. Yeah, really strong magnet.
Now, it might be hard for you to see because it's a very nice uniform light here. So it's very hard for you to see that there's actually a light on. So it's got a really, really nice diffuser.
Oh, there you go. You can just about see it there.
You can see me stepping up to those 3 different power settings. Then now it's off. So you can see it's very, very clean.
Yeah.
Okay. Another thing.
Very well diffused.
Yes, exactly. I think you might have mentioned it already, but I'll repeat you anyway. Okay. That 400 in the name is the number of lumens.
Lumens, yeah. That's when you, the amount of light given off.
I mean, to be honest, why would you use this? Right, you might be working in the dark. You might have a garage like myself. It doesn't have any lights because it's not attached to my house. It's really useful having a nice battery-powered little light just so you can see what you're doing. It doesn't have to be based on a DIY project. You might have a closet which doesn't have power. And you'd run a little light like this just so you can see what's in there, for example. 400
lumens is perfect for a little garden shed. So if you go out there and you're having trouble finding something, something like this is a godsend.
So you mentioned, it doesn't weigh much at all. No. Most of the weight's in the battery, and again, our batteries are nice and lightweight for the power that you get out of it. Last little tip, you'll see here on the side here, maybe if I cut to the close-up camera, you'll see here that you've got a little USB-C port here, so this can also act as a little power bank as well. So obviously you can get a lot of power stored in one of these batteries.
Perfect for camping. If you had one of the larger, say for instance, 6 amp hour batteries, you're going to get a considerable amount of charges out of that.
Yeah, that's a lot of that is a really useful little, as you said, camping. Or if you just find yourself stuck in the wilderness with your little light, you'll be fine. You can at least charge your phone at least. Right, okay, so we've got one little light here, but we can step up to another light. A relatively new product as well, this one. So
that was the easy, so we'll have to step up to the universal version. So this is the universal work light 18V-2100. So whereas the previous one had 400 lumens, this is 2100. This will light a garage. This is the larger, much brighter machine.
I'll put one of the smaller batteries in it just for reference. Now let's see. Now this one might be hard to see if I cut to the overhead quickly, if it's going to play with us there. Maybe you can just about see, you can just see the LEDs here, okay? So it hasn't got the same kind of diffuser, but remember this is a very high output light. So I'm going to pop it over here. Maybe I'll point it in the direction of one of the close-up cameras and just pop it on. I blinded myself. Now I've got little squares in my eyes. Okay, beautiful.
You can see that on the camera there.
And maybe you can see it step up. Oh, I have to switch it off now. It's too bright. Right, so 2100 lumens is a lot of light.
Yes.
I've just blinded the crew. And they're not looking at me happy. But yes, a lot of power. And as Dan points out, excellent for those larger spaces, garages. But again, if maybe you're doing some renovation, you've got the power off for whatever reason, maybe you think you're safe to do so, or maybe you're switching off the electricity, which is what we recommend if you're doing some renovation work. You're not necessarily doing electrical work, but you may be drilling into the walls and you might not be using one of our wall scanners, for example. So you're taking the necessary safety precautions. You've got no light in the house. Or, more importantly, again, this is something I did recently when I was painting my kitchen, especially if the sun's gone down. It's very hard to see what's dry and what's wet.
What you've actually painted and what you haven't painted yet.
A little light like this is perfect for when you're doing those kinds of applications. A lot of light in that room so you can keep working throughout the night, like what I was doing, because our weekends are precious.
Yes, certainly are.
Okay, so...
Actually, the weight between these two is pretty comparable, in actual fact.
Yeah, there's not much... I mean, without a battery, I mean, you're not going to... I'll slide off here. Oh, it's very little.
It's very little, isn't it? Yeah.
Half a kilo, barely, 0.34. So there's not much in it. So it doesn't weigh anything. So you can easily hang that off many things in your house. It's not a problem.
Yeah, we've also got, this is the hanging bracket we've got in the bottom here as well. So this section there, that pops out. You can hang that over a door, for instance, and have this actually pointing out into the room. So yeah,
good,
really easy to use.
Look, I mean, it's like, it might not be a power tool in the traditional sense of it being a drill or a recip saw or a saber saw, jigsaw, for example, but don't underestimate how nice it is to have a light, whether you're doing DIY or not.
It's definitely a comfort product.
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing else. Yes. Okay. Okay. Well, let's go back to some power tools, because I've got one that's relatively new. It's on my side, isn't it?
It is. You've got it over there.
Yes, I've got it here. Okay.
There you go. So this is the Universal Sander 18V-10. Does exactly what it sounds like it does. It's an 18-volt Universal Sander. So this is what we usually call a sheet sander. Takes several different shaped bases as well, doesn't it? You've got a couple
here's the
of them there.
alternative base. You'll see obviously here, you've got a 2-part, we'll call it a delta, for example.
That's a 90mm, they call that.
This one.
That one.
Yeah, for doing your corner into corners, for example, or a delta sander for the shape. And as Dan points out, here's what we call like the sheet side sander here.
Yeah, I'm impressed mostly about this because previously with sanders like this, we'd have to take the base off, the whole base off to fit the other shaped sander pad. But all you have to do is take the pads off the bottom of this, and then this sander plate fits into that sander plate. So it makes it a lot easier to connect it to the machine.
Yeah, I think all the versions that we sell, we also give you some sandpaper to get started. You can see the 2 different types you see here, and obviously that we do plenty of different grits. So I think actually the kits, I'm not sure. I think the kit, I think you get the normal 80 grits.
Yeah.
But there are plenty of accessories that you can buy for different types of material, different grades and stuff.
Yeah.
So lots. We could have a whole live stream talking about how to choose your sanding paper and how to do sanding. In fact, if that's something you'd like us to do in the future, feel free. Pop some comments in the chat, and we'll do some follow-up videos, no doubt. Or maybe woodworking, for example, I think might be a popular topic.
Yes,
but we can only because it's a general live stream. We're just giving you that little introduction into the range. We can't spend too long talking about it. But one thing we will show you, obviously, is the fact that look, the dust bot comes off nice and easy. Just friction fit there, nice and simple. And as Dan pointed out, the quick release system on the base is really nice. This little red bit slides here.
It's a system that's been around for quite some time. However, on this machine, it's particularly good. We've refined it.
It is effortless, and you can see here that just aligns it here.
There you go. So instantly, you've gone from a delta sander to a sheet sander. Yeah.
So easy, so quick. Again, that is one thing I feel like we do really well at Bosch. We're really good at our STS or our quick release system. So
no tools required. The other thing probably worth mentioning on this as well is where the design for the dust extraction has actually changed. So we're using a conical type container now, and the battery placement is up and out the way, so you can use any size of the batteries that we do.
That's right. Yeah, it's a nice little change compared to some of our older or more historic sanders.
Yeah.
Okay, really nice comfortable grip on the top here. Controls are simple. You've got a speed wheel on the front there, and you've got a simple activation. You don't need too much more when it comes to a sander. Nice ergonomics, easy to reach controls, and the vibration is nice and manageable. So great sanders, right? Okay. Last few power tools, and then we're going to go back into some lawn and garden. Let's have a look at a multi-tool.
Right, so Chris, what can you do with a multi-tool?
Everything.
Absolutely everything. Multiples of things.
The multi-tool is probably one of my favourite power tool inventions of the century.
That's it.
Okay, that's how I'm going to say it.
Yeah, it gets you out of trouble.
Oh,
basically,
yes, it does.
It does majority of things that you need it to do. So this is the Universal Multi 18V-32. So 18 volt. Really nice, comfortable machine. This really small grip circumference. 32 refers to the oscillations, the oscillation angle. So 3.2 degrees. This will oscillate from side to side. The blade does not spin on this machine. It just vibrates from side to side, and that gives you the ability to cut through material very quickly. Multiples material. We do blades for wood, wood and metal, multi-materials. Do metal on its own, honestly, even down to grout removal blades and adhesive removal
so I've got
plates as well.
Now I've got some examples of our more expensive blades, but just to show as a reference, we obviously do a wide range of different blades. Let's put it on the overhead camera very quickly, and you can see there's a number here to give you a good indication on the different types of blades that we do. Okay, I bear in mind obviously a lot of these are more professional. Hey, just because you're a DIYer or you're not a professional doesn't mean you don't get the benefit of these. So trust me, when it comes to accessories, feel free to spend a little bit more on some excellent accessories. I
mean, this machine is quite capable of running any of those accessories. You're looking for the ones with the circles, the small dots around the center there. They'll fit this machine absolutely perfectly. Now
let's cut back to just a close-up camera. Maybe what we'll do is very quickly show you how easy that is to do.
Right, so if I remove the hex key or Allen key from the back of the machine here, fits literally just here on the back of the machine. Pop that in the tool holder there and loosen that, in actual fact, it's really easier to do it finger tight. So remove that bolt there. Now you'll notice just in here there are 2 little magnets, funnily enough.
Makes it easy.
Makes it much easier to stick the blade in like that, pop the bolt in, and simply tighten that down with the Allen key. I pop it in like that, or hex key.
We'll forgive you.
Pick your phrase.
Yeah. So as you can probably see, you don't have to orientate it straight.
No.
You've got this 3-dimensional shape here that allows you to have whatever angle you'd want, or the closest to whatever angle you'd want.
That's it. Simply pop the hex key back in the back of the machine.
Or lose it.
There. But it's a standard, I think it's a 6mm hex key. So if you do lose it, then
that's why we thought of it.
available.
That's exactly why we put that there, because we know if we didn't, you're going to lose it.
Exactly. So there you go, all ready to use. So this will oscillate from side to side, 3.2 degrees.
2.8.
Sorry, is it 2.8?
For some reason.
For some reason it's 2.8 degrees, which actually rivals some of our professional ones. So really good bit of kit. So it gives you plenty of cutting speed through whichever material you're cutting.
That's right. It's the variable speed on the underside, isn't it? There it is.
There it is there. So you've got variable speed on there as well.
You can go from slow to fast. And when we say slow to fast, they're still very fast, but you've got a little bit of control. So it helps if you're working in different materials. So you don't want to burn it or melt it if it's plastic, for example.
That's it.
You get a number of different kinds of accessories. You've got this little segment blade or a plunge blade. There are hundreds, well, I say 100, there's at least over 130 different accessories on the normal DIY range, all the way up to the pro range that would work really well for some of these. Maybe not all of them would work, but all the Starlock.
We also do kits as well for like plasterers or just around the house sort of jobs, stuff like that. So the accessories come in nice little segmented boxes for you. So.
Yeah, so if you're cutting, or plunge cutting, cool. But we also supply things like little sanding pads as well. So you can do actually a very, very effective little sander. So that's why I like this universal multi 18V-32, because it gives you that flexibility. If you want to upgrade, then again, obviously we can go from a universal multi to one of the machines that we've had in the range for quite a while, the advanced multi 18. And I only wanted to get this tool to show why stepping up to a slightly more expensive product has its benefit, because then you've got the tool-free, and you don't even need the Allen key now, feature there. So that's a nice feature to have. I'll do that one more time.
Certainly does cut down the change time.
Okay, that makes changing accessories really quick and easy. If you need, this is very beneficial if you're working in lots of little projects at the same time. You want to save time, you've got things to do. Okay, but for your average DIYer, unless you're really in a rush, this system is not. I saw Danny change it there. It wasn't a big deal.
No.
Very easy. Right, okay, before we move on to the next section, maybe we'll pause very quickly and see if Dharma's got any questions for us.
Yeah, so someone said that I have the advanced multi 18. It's a great tool. However, I'd like to get a new set of blades. What would you recommend?
Oh, well,
Well, it depends really what you do with the blades.
we sell quite a few sets that have multiple blades in it.
Yes.
And I always like those because those are geared towards what type of application you're doing. Maybe you're woodworking, and then you'll have a nice selection of blades that are just for your type of woodworking application. There's one for metalworking. I mean, there's many retailers out there that will sell those packs.
Yes.
However, if you know exactly what you want, you can buy the blades individually.
Yeah.
You save a little bit of money, but I think some of those kits, I wonder if I've got one in here.
I'm not sure.
No, but we have these little...
I've seen one around somewhere, but not in eyesight.
Yeah, we also have these, what we call blisters, which is basically at the moment, there's currently shrink wrap plastic.
Yep.
And in those ones, we've got some of our more cost-effective blades as well. But in my opinion, it is with a multi-tool, it's almost like a false economy buying cheaper blades. I think if you get good quality blades, I'm not saying get the most expensive ones. You can if you like. You'd really benefit from them. But if you step up to some more of the mid-range blades,
ones,
you're going to have blades that last a lot longer. And these machines, when using correctly, will burn out really quickly. I mean, the blades will, not the machines.
Yes.
But if you step up a little bit in price, you'll get blades that will last a lot more price per cut compared to the cheap blades.
But the actual range is remarkable, though. We've got everything, even up to carpet cutting blades and adhesive removal blades as well. If you're pulling up adhesive vinyl tiles, it's literally. You imagine the job. Probably do a blade that will get the job done.
Yeah. Best thing is if you want to pop in the chat, you know, what kind of things you're doing, and maybe we could answer it after we're finished, or maybe if we, depending on time, maybe I can find a little kit there that might recommend to you. But as I said, you've got such a great choice, not just from the blades individually, but we also do these really nice packs based on material.
Yeah.
Any other questions, Donna?
Yeah, a similar question. Someone said, loving the live. How can we choose the suitable professional accessory as a DIYer?
How or why should you? Wait, why not? Bosch make really great accessories, obviously for the professional tradesman, but we make really great accessories for anyone. And actually, to be honest, it's a great example. I mean, let me bring out this as an example of an accessory.
That's a fantastic example.
Right, let's cut to a over close-up camera. Right, here is just a little drill bit, okay? It's a little blue drill bit, okay? But this is not just any drill bit. This is a multi-construction drill bit.
Yep.
This will work in any of those drills that we showed you at the beginning, any of those combi drills, and that will allow you to, with one drill bit, drill into wood, metal, soft tile, red brick, to a degree, maybe even to some softer concrete.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, it has such potential. Why? It's because it's using a tungsten carbide header. Now, I don't want to bore you. If you really want to know more about this, feel free to look at some of our videos on maybe the professional side. But because this is tungsten carbide, it is very hard, which means it won't wear down and it will constantly stay sharp when drilling in all kinds of material. So
I've used this on steel box section and it's gone to it, and I've been genuinely surprised. To look at it, it looks like your standard masonry drill bit. That's because it's designed to go through masonry, as well as all of these other items as well. That carbide tooth on there, it's fantastic.
Absolutely.
Bit of kit. You'll be genuinely surprised at what this can do.
So as a DIYer, I mean, I say as a DIYer, I'm not obviously, but as a DIYer, I can imagine that many people just want the convenience of not having loads and loads of different accessories. You just want one thing that's going to do nearly all the work you want to do. Wire multi-tool is quite useful for sure. But if you just want one drill bit set, really consider looking at the Bosch multi-construction bit sets. We've got different varying sizes. Obviously, this is a really useful size going from 4 to 8 millimeters.
That's your raw plug set.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and again, you can see on the little icon here, yes, this is an expert product, so it is obviously very high up in the performance class, but still very affordable.
Yes.
Right, so don't get put off. Just because you may not be a professional, that doesn't mean that you won't benefit from buying really good drill bits. In fact, you will 100%. You can almost put my reputation on it. You'll really benefit from buying high quality accessories to go with high quality tools.
Okay.
Your tool is only as good as the accessory put in it. DIY, pro, it doesn't matter. Okay, any more questions, Dharma?
One final question. Are you announcing any new tools?
We have some tools. We have shown a few tools that are relatively new. We're not going to talk about anything yet. If this live stream has been successful, maybe what we'll do is we'll actually have live streams showing new launches.
Yes.
This is why we wanted to do live. We wanted to have this quick little session where you can tell us what you would like. Do you want to have another DIY live stream? If so, let us know. If you have any topics, let us know. If you want to have live streams on new product launches, again, let us know. Put it in the comments, either live on the chat or once this becomes a video, put it in the comment section below and let us know whether or not you would like Danny and I to do more of these videos for you.
Yeah, think of it as your ability to talk directly to Bosch.
Okay, well, are we out of questions for now, Dan, or should we shoot on? Okay, cool. Let's clear the desk a little bit.
We're going to have to for this one.
We're doing okay for time, okay? I mean, hopefully everyone is still enjoying themselves. We're not getting too many questions. Maybe let us know in the chat. Is this too much detail? Is it the right amount of detail? You let us know. Okay, so we're going to look at some big lawn and garden products. I will grab this one first.
Yep.
So when we talk about larger lawn and garden products, I would go with a mower.
Yeah, we'll pop this just up there. I can take the grass box off and fold the handles down if you wish. But
clearly, we need a bigger studio. Okay, so this one here is going to be the City Mower 18V-32-300 in this case.
Yes.
What we've got is an 18-volt mower.
Yes.
Okay, in the name, it's 32 centimeter cutting diameter.
Or cutting width.
Yes, that's right, cutting width. And that's obviously important. The larger the cutting width, the less passes you'll need to do in your garden. This is an excellent product that we would say, the 300 value is what we'll say is like a recommended square meterage.
Yeah, given the contents of the box and the battery that you'll get with it, that's the recommended square meterage of the garden you'd use it on. Obviously, if you were to step up, if this came with a 2 amp hour battery or a 3 amp hour battery, you could always go 4 amp hour or 6 amp hour. And
of course.
Your square footage would go up.
Yeah,
as an indication, 300.
Yeah, we're thinking about, obviously, if you've got a really large garden, even if you do up the capacity, you might get a bit tedious running a smaller diameter blade.
Yeah.
So we'd recommend you jump up to one of the ones that we've got, which is significantly larger than 32. But you know, kind of named it, say that this is a really good compact mower for those people in more urban areas.
Yeah.
That's why it's called a city mower. The size of it's nice and small. You're able to fold the handles down to make it a bit more ergonomic. Yeah, exactly. Battery fits in the front here. You've got yourself your little safety isolation key.
Yep.
And then the battery just sits in this bay here. I'll use a 6 amp hour battery, and that simply slots in. Okay, so this is running on a single 18 volt battery. The advantage, or what should I say, is the advantage on running a dual layer battery is obviously, you know, or this is an ideal application for what we call our performance or dual layer battery. So 6 amp hours, great. You do a lot of cutting. You probably do your entire garden or something like this.
Oh, easily, yeah.
If you're running this kind of machine. Let's see if we can adjust it a little bit.
Yeah,
so we got
the height of cut on this is quite interesting. With our lower level corded mowers, for instance, there was a manual adjustment on the wheels. However, on this particular model here, it's a single lever on the front here, which easily raises and lowers the height of cut.
Yeah, we're going from 30 millimeters up to 60 millimeters.
Yeah, it's all the way to the top.
Plenty of height of cut. Remember, I mean, a little pro tip for those people, or DIY tip. Remember, when you're starting your cut, and I know we're out of the season now, but remember, when you're starting your cut and your grass has grown and you've done your first cut of the season, try and be a bit nicer to your machines. Try not to go in at the lowest cut. That's why we make grass trimmers. So you can obviously get some of that grass down to a nice manageable height, then start at the highest, so the 60 millimeters, and then you can work down. It's a much more efficient way of doing things.
It's better for the grass and it's better for the mower at the end of the day.
Yeah.
We do get a lot of mowers, or a lot of blades come back where they're prematurely worn, and that's people burying it in almost the soil.
That's right.
So yeah, obviously it's an issue out there, but yeah, look after the machine.
Yeah,
but look after you otherwise.
Exactly. But again, more than enough power and performance for those urban gardens. Again, up to that 200 to 300 meters squared. So all running on that single 18 volt battery. You could run, if you wanted to, the compact battery. But again, my recommendation is, despite the fact that it's compatible with all the batteries in the DIY 18 volt lithium ion range, recommend a performance battery. Okay. Do we need to spend any more time? I think we could rush along. I mean, look, it's got folding handles. It's really nice and compact. The grass box capacity, I think, is 31 litres. So plenty. Again, it's all geared around that nice, small urban garden.
Exactly.
It doesn't weigh much. I forgot the weight of it. It's about 10 kilos, just 9.9 kilos. Okay, right. Okay, so let's move on to another machine. If you grab that off the desk, I'm going to get another one. All right, so this one's
a little bit
This one's
heavier.
already folded up, so you can see.
Yes. I folded that one down so you can see how compact this actually goes when you're talking about storing it in like a garage or a shed. So folds down nice and easily on this.
Okay, before we announce the name, let's put it back up together.
Certainly. So I'll give you the grass box there.
Thank you.
To be awkward.
One thing you can see is this grass box is a little bit better. It's got a fabric grass box as opposed to the plastic box.
That's it. So you fold the handle up like that. Simply tighten the quick releases.
Not the easiest thing to do up on a desk, I'm sure.
No, certainly not. There you go. So that's tighten the quick releases on there, and then it's just the wing nuts at the top here. Which you tighten it up.
All right. Well,
Simple as that.
While Dan's doing that, I think, Dan, you've got maybe a question already I can answer while we just set up that last handle.
Yeah. Someone's asked, what do the amp hours mean for the batteries?
You missed the beginning of the live stream, but that's fine. Amp hours is a metric to determine how many amp hours are in it, how much energy is stored in the battery. The higher the number, the more battery energy, or the energy is stored within the battery. So you can see that a 1.5, like this, for example, is going to have less energy compared to a 6 amp hour. And that means that's the amount of trigger time or run time you've got. So a 6 is going to have a lot more run time compared to a 1.5 amp hour battery. And certain machines really benefit from having this high capacity. A lawnmower is a great example of one that benefits from what we refer to as a performance battery.
Right, so here we have the Universal Rotac 2 times 18V-37 550.
Oh, it rolls off the tongue.
It does, doesn't it? This one also comes with a rear roller as well. Brilliant benefit when it comes to doing stripes in your lawn.
If I pass that to you,
Yes.
okay. As Danny's pointed out, it's a 2 times 18 volt machine. So yes, we do have many 18 volt lawnmowers running on a single lithium ion 18 volt battery.
Yep.
However, this one now has 2 times 18 volt, which means you've got better performance and runtime.
Exactly.
So this is why that 550 is in the name there, because now we're looking at a mower that is designed for those larger gardens. You say, you know, the larger metric we've got there means that we're looking at gardens that are substantially larger compared to the previous model, which was 200 to 300 meters squared, for example.
Yes.
It is running a 37 centimeter blade as opposed to 32. Another reason.
You're getting more cutting diameter out of it because the motor's more powerful.
They both have the ErgoFlex handles, which you can't see up there, but we will show you when we cut to a different camera in a minute. The battery bay is here.
Yep.
Simply slots open, and hopefully you can see there are 2 bays. They're almost like a cockpit. So you have one here, and then you have the other one just slightly behind it. Okay. Important to note that this machine does require both batteries to run.
Yes.
Okay. We had considered whether or not we just want one. However, we realised that no, to get the maximum performance out of this, we want to insist that the user uses those 2 batteries.
Exactly.
Like any lawnmower, we recommend running a performance battery, so 6 or 4, or you could even run a Power Plus battery. But to be honest, the main benefit for these batteries is compact, lightweight.
Yeah.
You don't need it in the mower. You're pushing it, for example.
It's on wheels at that
Yeah,
point.
exactly.
You're not really getting that benefit out of it. So I'd go with probably a 4 or 6, 100%. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it also comes with isolation key on the top here. Just sits down in there. Actually, it comes with a 2, so you've got spare. So again, put one in a safe place. Leave the other one on the top of the mower. Quick release on the handle. We've talked about the ErgoFlex handles as well. Whether we can get them just in there. And again, height of cut, simply one lever on the front gives you the full adjustability on that.
Yeah, you're going from 25 millimeters up to 70. So you can already see from the machine a lot more performance. So you can cut more compared to that single 18 volt machine. And lastly, the fact that the machine itself even comes with the wheels attached. So from you guys opening the box, you're pretty much ready to go. Quicker bit of assembly, don't have to fiddle with the wheels. Batteries on, do your first cut of the season.
No tools required. Everything literally just slots together. The quick releases at the bottom here, thread up, wing nuts, you're good to go.
That's right. So this is one of the first machines in the DIY range that is giving you that 36 volt type performance by running 2 times 18 volt batteries. Why have we done this? Well, because as we're proving with this live stream, there are so many tools in the range that run on that 18 volt battery platform. And we wanted people to have the option of having a 36 volt performance, but without having to reinvest in a whole bunch of different batteries. Exactly. So here you can use those same 18 volt batteries that you're using to run your drills, your other lawn and garden products, maybe some of your jigsaws or saber saws, whatever, right? And you can pop those batteries straight into this lawnmower and you're going to be able to do what you need to do at the beginning of the season or throughout the whole of, well, not this season, but normal lawn and garden stuff.
Yeah, from a sustainability point of view, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, the fact that it's got a brushless motor as well, keeps the weight down, keeps the machine powerful. And this is the kind of machine that would have that Cinion technology to help regulate power and current. Okay, so Dharma, a few more questions and then maybe, I'm looking at time, we're cutting it close. So I think we've got a few more tools to get to before we finish for the day.
Yeah, so first question, do the batteries need to be of the same capacity and will it run when one of the 2 batteries is drained?
Right, so the batteries will need to be of a similar capacity. However, if you had, for instance, one of the older 3 amp hour batteries and a 4 amp hour, it would limit the 4 amp hour battery to 3 amp hour electronically. And then they would empty equally and then the machine would cut off when the batteries are expired.
Once that 3 amp hour is depleted.
So there'll still be a little bit of headroom in one of the batteries. So that's the way we've managed to actually balance out batteries which wouldn't normally be balanced.
That's right, yeah. It's in the manual. We recommend that you select batteries of a similar age and preferably the same capacity. But we understand that sometimes that's not possible, so we've made sure the machine won't damage the batteries. It will electronically
compensate
protect.
for it.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Great. Next question is, can I keep the batteries in the shed with the mower, or do they need to be kept indoors?
No, they should be okay in the actual mower. I mean, you can keep them in the mower with the key out.
Yeah.
No reason why not. The only thing to be concerned about is if you're talking about serious sub-zero conditions, which sometimes we get over in the UK, but not very often.
It's moisture to consider.
It's worth considering bringing them indoors.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to be storing your batteries at the end of the season, I mean, hopefully you've got some other tools that might use the batteries. Worth bringing it in.
Yeah.
You can leave it out there, but if it was me doing it, I would always bring the batteries in. Just for that extra level of protection.
Yeah.
It's not that it's a massive deal, but sometimes you can't. Well, theft isn't great.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, you do get runtime limitation. Won't necessarily hold as much capacity in the cold. We know that from other technologies that are out there using lithium ion. So
British weather typically is not a problem. But I think best practice is bring the batteries in if you're going to store it over the season.
exactly. Yeah.
All done. Right, okay. Right, I'm going to look around. I think we can do a few more minutes maybe. I'm going to get some nods from the team behind and tell me whether or not we need to wrap it up. But I'm going to do a few more products and then we'll see how we're going.
Right.
Okay,
Give me a hand getting this
I'll
off
get
the
this
table
down
then.
and you can move on to the next machine then.
There you go. Right, so the next one, actually I got one of these myself. Fantastic bit of kit when it comes to pumping up bike or car tyres. Oops,
Bless you.
I pressed the button there a little bit in advance. Right, so I have here the Universal Pump 18V. This is a great bit of kit when it comes to really compact tyre inflators or for inflating pool tools, pool toys, footballs, that sort of thing. This is a great bit of kit when it comes to that.
Now, I've got another product here, which I'm not going to dwell on, but you may or may not be aware of this nice little toy. Well, it's so lightweight, it feels like a little toy. Yeah, we've got the Easy Pump. Okay, so this is a integral 3.6 volt. It's got a little USB charge on the bottom here. Okay, this is a great little product as well.
Yes, brilliant.
Does basically the same things, but the benefit of running an 18 volt power, well, like the Universal Pump 18, is speed.
So if you're out cycling, something like that would be perfect. But for the boot of your car, this will do the bike the car as well. But saying that will do the car as well. I've been using one of them for quite long. Quite a capable bit of kit, that.
Now, both are really good examples, but I mean, if you want something to pump up lots of tyres, if you're doing stuff like your automobile, your car, as Danny said, this is a really great product. So, quick example, look, it's a pump.
Yeah.
Okay, runs on the same battery. So we're looking at products that aren't necessarily power tools. These are really good leisure products. Again, we had like the lights, which are used for camping. These products are also really good if you're doing things away from the home.
Exactly.
So you got a little bike tyre there?
I do, and I'm keeping one of these down here underneath the desk. Here's one I finished earlier.
This one you flattened earlier, I'm sure.
Flattened earlier, yep.
Okay.
So this, interestingly, comes now with a new part on the end there. So previously you can screw this on. In actual fact, if you unscrew that, you can screw this on directly to the valve on your tyre. Works on Presta valves and Schrader valves. But for the moment, I'm just going to pop this on. So I'll show you the tyre is really quite flat there at the top. I don't know whether you can
Do it at the bottom.
Well, there you go. I'll push it down. There you go. So, flat tyre. Pop this out. Stick there.
All right. So the hose is 67 centimeters, so it's a nice length. So you're not having to have the machine too close to the wheel, for example. Especially if you're pumping up your car tire, you can stand next to the car while pumping up the tires. You don't have to be down there on the floor with the machine.
Exactly. So if I hold that up there, I don't know whether you can see that's on absolutely zero at the moment. There you go. Nothing in there at all. Right. Yeah, but when I quickly start pumping, you'll see how quickly the air actually and the pressure goes up on the actual tyre.
Got it.
There you go. That's 2 bar pressure. That's your 30 odd, 31, 32 psi.
Yeah.
Pop
So
that off. There you go.
fine. Obviously, the Easy Pump will do similar. It has an electronic screen on the front there where you can dial in the PSI. But because this is 3.6, the advantage here with the Universal Pump 18V is speed.
Yes,
it's
it is,
much faster. So if you You got a choice of both, to be honest.
Exactly.
Yeah, good choice. Right, okay, so last few questions maybe, and then we're going to wrap it up, I believe. So, Dharma, what have we got?
Yeah. So what kind of warranty do these 18-volt tools come with?
That's the last topic.
That's the last topic.
If you can hold off, we will talk about that as we finish up the live stream. So just hold your horses. We'll get to it in 1 second. Any other questions? Right, okay, so last little bit before we finish, cut to the close-up camera for a second, and you'll see in the bottom of the machine here, there we go, you see we've got a little door. And in here, you've got a nice little accessory set. So that's your Presta or your French valve adapter. This one here, you've got something for a ball needle for your inflatables. And you've got something here, I call it a balloon adapter, but this can work with anything.
This is your holiday lilo, your inflatable animals, that sort of thing.
You'll see it's very similar to what we've got in the Easy Pump. There you go. So same accessory set here. Okay, obviously the difference is you get this quick release, and this is really nice. You can get this as a spare part if you do wish for it, but this comes with the universal pump.
If you've already got one of these that doesn't have this, I'd definitely recommend going for the little adapter. It makes life a little bit easier.
Okay, there were a number of other products that we were thinking about talking about. There are many other 18-volt products. We've got things like our spray guns.
Yes.
We've got even like, where is it down here, for example? We have even like the universal fan, but to be honest, we can't spend... We could spend all day talking about all the different 18-volt products. So what we want to do is have a nice start to what could be a lovely future. Maybe we'll do some more. Again, give us some feedback. Do you want to see more of this stuff? Would you like us to do specific ranges? This is just a taster to the compatibility of the Bosch 18-volt DIY battery range.
Tip of the iceberg.
Tip of the iceberg. Okay. Last ending or final comments. I think we had a good question at the end there talking about service and warranty, Danny.
That's it, yeah. So service turnaround we have here, actually literally behind where we're standing here, we have the service workshop where they will collect free of charge power tools, bring them into our service centre, repair them within a 5-day period. So a 5-day attempted turnaround. Obviously that depends slightly on the availability of spare parts, and then return it free of charge to you under warranty. The warranty is for 3 years, providing that you register it within 30 days, or sorry, 28 days I think it is, of purchase via the My Bosch website.
Either the website, and I believe there's an app as well.
There is an app as well, yes.
Yeah. And the best thing about doing registration via the app is you can utilise the feature of your smart device, and you can actually just it's like scan, it's kind of taking a picture of the data plate,
literally,
and that will populate all the information you need, so you don't have to type it all in.
Well, we've got that here. There we go. See, just this data plate here, just show that to your camera, and it'll immediately pick it up and register the product, serial number, absolutely everything on there.
Very quick and easy. So there's no excuse not to register your tool for that extended warranty. It's completely free of charge.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, round up, last little bit. Little piece de resistance, maybe.
What you got there?
No, I just wanted to make a very quick comment. I've got 2 examples here. We talked about power tools and batteries, okay? But don't forget, chargers are important as well. And we've made it really nice and easy for you because, guess what? Our batteries will fit all of our DIY chargers.
Exactly. They're all exactly the same.
Okay.
Just different varying outputs gives you different charge times. That's it.
That's right.
Higher the output, the lower the charge time.
And last, final comment
Yep.
is maybe you might know, we wanted to show you something new, okay?
Yes.
So here's something new. We're talking about the 18-volt batteries. If you punch in a little closer here, you might notice there's something slightly different on this battery. Have you got an older one? There's one here.
Oh, you got that one there.
Yeah, pass that jaw to you. Right. Something new. That's right. So what we've been adding is we've now got a nice clean, it's so bright, a nice clean battery indicator, 4 bars showing you the charge status of your battery. So I promise you something new, and trust me, this is something that I've been really looking forward to. It's not a power tool, but it's a really simple and great functionality benefits. And no, I don't have to worry about finding a tool that's got a battery gauge. The battery itself has now got it. You could argue we should have had this sooner. Yeah, true, but there we go. So new battery type as well. Last questions, Dharma, or should we just call it a night?
Just some comments that said they loved seeing you in green and they enjoyed the live very much, and they're hoping there'll be more in the future.
Cool. Right. So
fantastic.
We're just over time. We're very rarely on time. Why? Because we like talking. Or at least I definitely do.
Sometimes I get a word in edgewise.
Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this first ever Bosch DIY live stream. Again, if you'd like to see more of this stuff, feel free to pop some comments in the chat. Don't forget to obviously like and subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Yeah, and pop on the notification as well, so you don't miss out on any future episodes that may be.
Right. Thank you.